it so well.
I couldn't lift my legs, and it was the most scary thing because I honestly thought I got paralyzed. I said, something is not right, something went wrong here. Hey everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Hope you guys are all doing good. In today's video, I am going to be sharing with you my birth story here in Italy. I know you guys have requested for this, and I hope to finish this today within the next hour, only because our little boy here has been having a bit of a gas problem lately, so there. So today guys, a little Alex turns 3 weeks old, so it's been 3 weeks since I gave birth to him, and I cannot believe how quickly the time is flying. And I'm just actually gonna get right into this video because I don't know what time or when he'll be waking up to feed. I'm pretty sure right about now. You gonna let mama film? Alright guys, so I guess this is how we will do it. Hoping that he doesn't wake up. He's already waking up. I haven't even started. Come on Alex, we gotta do this for the people, don't we? We gotta do this for our YouTube family. So let me dive right into it. I hope my voice isn't like too low. But yeah, I was able to write down a few things here just to make sure that I don't miss out on anything. But I will start from the very start because that's where we should start. So obviously you guys would know that I gave birth on February 18 of 2021 at around 10:30 a.m. So let me just take a step back to February 17. So if you guys watch my kind of birth vlog, on February 17 I did the baby dance, and I did it just for fun. Actually I was gonna upload that on Instagram, and I thought, you know, let's see if this will start my contractions or if I'll go into labor, because I watch these things on TikTok and you know they say that they go into labor. So I'm like, okay, let's give it a try, because I mentioned to you guys that I wanted to give birth either on the 14th of February or the 18th. The 18th because it has the number 8 on it. I did the baby dance on February 17, not knowing that I would actually go into labor. So I started feeling my contractions at around 1 a.m. I woke up to these like, you know, just cramps or my stomach tightening. And to be honest guys, I was in doubt that I was, you know, going into labor, because I've always felt these Braxton Hicks contractions, and that's how it exactly felt. So if you guys are not aware what Braxton contractions are, they are contractions, but they're not like the real contractions. So they're like contractions that are kind of readying your body to go into labor. I've had the Braxton Hicks contractions ever since my 20 weeks hit. I felt them earlier on because I've given birth previously. I started feeling these contractions at around 1 a.m. and I thought, you know what, these are just Braxton Hicks and you know, they're probably nothing. I was waking up every 20 minutes because they weren't getting like really stronger, but I felt that they were coming in every 20 minutes. And once I started feeling, you know, the consistency of every 20 minutes, that's when I decided to just track them. Someone did ask me on Instagram what was the contractions tracker that I used, and it is an app from Baby Center. Baby Center is kind of like what to expect app where you can, you know, follow your pregnancy journey, pregnancy contraction timer. So that is what it looks like. So at this time, 1 a.m., I didn't wake up Marco. I, you know, kind of kept it to myself because I didn't know what was happening. I didn't want him to panic because I know that if I told Marco, he'd be like, oh my God, let's go to the clinic. So from around 1 a.m. to 3 a.m., I think they were around 20 minutes. And then from 3 a.m. to maybe 5 a.m. they started getting closer. And when I mean closer, they were at around 10 minutes apart, 13 to 10 minutes apart. But I can definitely see a consistency. So I said to myself, yep, these are real contractions. I am going into labor pretty soon, or I'm in labor already, like the early stage of labor. When I reach around, let's say 4 a.m., 5 a.m., they did get a little stronger, but it's still something that I could, you know, breathe through. It's something that I could still handle at home. So 5:30, Marco woke up and I told him, babe, I'm having contractions, and then, you know, I told him how apart my contractions were. At that time, they were already 13 to 10 minutes apart. So at this time, we told each other, let's just keep on tracking it and see if it changes and see if it gets a little bit closer. I had my coffee, I had my breakfast, and during this time, I was having contractions every 10 minutes still, so it wasn't getting closer. So at around maybe 6:15, we decided to call my OB and tell him what was happening. We sent him a screenshot of my contraction tracker, and he said, just head to the clinic, because he's been telling us even before, you know, getting into the labor part, that since I've had kids before, my labor will go quickly and I should head to the hospital or head to the clinic as soon as the contractions are closer and closer. I decided to take a shower, and I was still having contractions. While I was having contractions, Marco was timing my contractions, and I wish I filmed it, but you know, guys, when you're at this situation, your mind is kind of just all over the place, and also considering that you haven't had any sleep. And then all of a sudden, my contractions were going back down to 14 to 15 minutes apart, and I'm like, maybe I'm going to false labor, maybe this isn't it. And so I told Marco, maybe we should wait and see if there are like 3 consecutive, you know, contractions 10 minutes apart, then maybe that's the time when we can go to the clinic, because right now I'm getting them 15 minutes apart again. So I got them like 14 to 15 minutes apart twice, and then it went back down to 10 minutes. We headed down to the clinic, and in the car, of course, obviously I was getting contractions. They were 7 minutes apart, 10 minutes apart, 7 minutes apart, 8 minutes apart. And so here is the real story that you guys have been probably wanting to know, how it is to give birth during the pandemic here in Italy. When we arrived at the clinic, it was around 8:30 to be exact. When I say clinic, guys, this is like a maternity clinic. It is a clinic specifically for people who are giving birth. So as soon as we made it to the entrance, the lady stopped us and she said, have you had your swab done? And I said no. While my mother-in-law and Marco waited outside, I was called in. They interviewed me, not like a real interview, but just asked for my personal information. And then they said, okay, now you have to get your swab done for this COVID thing. The same lady at the reception led me out, and there was like a trailer type of, what do they call this? It was like a container, container van. Our container truck. So it was kind of like separate from the clinic, and I had my swab done. And that was one of the things that I was really, really scared about, to be honest, because, you know, seeing all these videos and seeing all these pictures and news, it gave me anxiety, and it gave me anxiety even before going to labor. But to be honest, guys, when I was in that situation, the swab felt like nothing to me compared to my contractions. I wasn't even focused on the swab. I was kind of like, okay, let's just get this over with, because I want to know how I'm doing with my contractions, or if I'm gonna give birth today. And so you may ask, how does the swab feel? So she swabbed both of my nostrils. It just feels like something just sticking up right in there. It's just like a one-time, big-time feeling, just like on the spot, and then just a little tingly feeling afterwards. After she swabbed me, she said that I have to wait for, I think, 10 minutes to see if I am, you know, positive or not. And so we kind of just waited outside while I'm having these contractions. I fortunately was negative. So as soon as I was told that I was negative, I had to go in the clinic. And at this time, Marco and my mother-in-law had to stay outside. They couldn't come in with me. This is the part where, you guys, I was really, really scared about, right? Like, people wouldn't understand what I was saying. I wouldn't be able to express myself. I wouldn't be able to ask where I should go and all that because of the language barrier. So when they told me to go to the 4th floor, they told me to leave all my bags for now, because they have to see how far along I am. Either, you know, maybe I'm gonna give birth today in a few minutes, or maybe not, maybe tomorrow. And so I went in the clinic very confident. I was really confident. All the anxiety that I felt before, you know, I had a video that I posted that I was really, really down because I was scared of what I would go through. All of that just kind of vanished. I just didn't feel any anxiety anymore. I didn't feel scared. I was so confident, and went out to the 4th floor, and there was no one on the 4th floor in the hallway. So I'm like, okay, am I in the right place? And I just kind of went down the hall, and at the far end I saw operating room. So I'm like, okay, yeah, this has got to be the right room. Then a nurse came up to me and she said, are you here for the course? And obviously she said that in Italian, and all I understood was corso, because they do these like pregnancy courses or maternity courses. And I said partorire, like to give birth. I'm like, adesso. I don't even know how to like put things together. Just for me, as long as I have the verb and like when I'm gonna have it or when I'm gonna give birth, I am okay with that. This was at around maybe 9. A doctor came. It wasn't my doctor yet because my doctor hasn't arrived yet. And he said that, okay, let's go ahead and check your contractions. So they monitored my contractions. They were good. I was there for about 30 minutes and my contractions were getting stronger. I could feel it. And so after 30 minutes, the doctor came back. He IE'd me and he said, oh, you're only 1 cm. And I'm like, what? You've got to be kidding me, because my contractions are stronger. I can't only be 1 cm. Obviously, I didn't say that because I don't know how to say that in Italian. He IE'd me and he said, but good news, because there is blood. So I don't know what that meant. Maybe my cervix was opening up. You know, he kind of left me there for another 10 minutes and a nurse came in. Prior to going to the clinic, guys. I messaged the clinic and I told them of my situation. I told them that I'm gonna give birth in their clinic, but I'm really worried because I don't speak in Italian. And they were able to reply to me on Facebook. They said, don't worry, our nurses will take care of you. So going back to the contraction room, a nurse came in and she said, Maria, and I'm like, see? And she said, do you speak English? And I'm like, yes. I'm like, oh my God. Like, as soon as she spoke English, it was like music to my ears. And I kind of realized that, you know, the person that I was chatting with on Facebook told this nurse already that I was going to their clinic today. So I was very happy that at least they were attentive and they were able to help me out in that. And she checked me, she IE'd me as well. And take note that this was like 15 minutes after being IE'd by the first doctor. And she said, oh, you're 4 cm. So I was surprised because like 15 minutes ago, this doctor checked me and I was 1 cm, then I jumped to 4 cm. And then when she was checking me, the same doctor came in and another lady doctor came in and they checked me again. And they're like, oh yeah, you're 4 cm. You're gonna give birth today. What? I was like kind of in shock, but I was kind of happy as well. I'm like, okay, let's get this going. As soon as I walked out of the contractions room, I saw my doctor. And he said, Cara, he said, let's do this. Let's do this today. And after that, they gave me my room that I was gonna stay in. My doctor told me to change right away and go to the operating room. And take note, all this time I was walking. I was not like in a wheelchair or anything. So I went into my room. I changed into my beautiful white dress that I bought for 20 euros. I walked into the operating room with my doctor, or not operating room, the delivery room. And so I knew it. I knew this was it because as soon as, you know, we walked into the delivery room, I saw, you know, where I was gonna deliver. My doctor told me, okay, lay down here first. It wasn't the bed that I was gonna deliver on. They strapped me again to check my contractions. So I'm like, okay, maybe I'm not gonna deliver right now. And so they monitored my contractions for 30 minutes again, and all of a sudden I jumped to 7 cm. So 4 cm to 7 cm. Each time my doctor checked me, it hurt like crazy because he would also check the uterus and he really went up there and he really, oh my goodness, it was like the worst feeling. And I don't remember this in the Philippines, but they did it here and he had to do it each time I had a contraction. So I guess that's the reason why it hurt. And they have to do it through the contraction because that's the only way to find out, I guess, how far along I am. So each time I had a contraction, they would check. I would be in pain, but I would just, you know, just breathe through it. After monitoring my contractions for, let's say, 20 minutes, the nurse that spoke in English checked me. She didn't say anything. She eyed me and she didn't say anything. And I said, how far along am I? And she said, it's time. So I was 10 cm and this is where it all started. Throughout all this, I was having contractions and my doctor was telling me to breathe. He was telling me where to push. And this is the time where I felt scared because I wish that, you know, someone was with me during this time, but I just wanted to get it over with. So I think where I got my confidence was from Alex because I just wanted to see him. I wanted to know he was okay. I just wanted to get it over with. So as soon as I laid on the delivery bed, they were still checking me. Obviously, my water hadn't broken yet, so I never experienced my water breaking. They were talking to each other and I wish I knew what they were saying because they were speaking in Italian, but all I knew or understood was the word break. So I kind of connected it to the water breaking. My doctor tried breaking it. So he went in there again and he tried breaking it with his fingers and he said that it's really, really tough. It's really, really hard. So they got this like long, and I don't want to scare you guys if you're gonna give birth soon, but they got this long piece of metal and stuck it in me. And as soon as he put it in, it went like this. And I could feel how tough it was because it wouldn't break. And he's like pushing. And as soon as I felt the water break, it was so warm, like I peed myself, but it came out the other hole. As soon as that happened, as soon as my water broke, the nurse who spoke in English told me, once you feel like pushing, just push. I started pushing. Like my body just told me push. I kept pushing. I probably pushed 4 to 5 times. And as soon as my doctor said, I see Alex's head, I see Alex's hair, that's when I pushed so hard that I didn't want to stop because, you know, when you push and you stop all of a sudden, chances are the baby could go back inside. I kept pushing and pushing and pushing to the point where my doctor said, okay, you don't need to push anymore. And when he said that, Alex just came out. I literally felt all of Alex's body parts come out of me and it was the best feeling. And as soon as I heard him cry, I knew that he was gonna be okay, that we were okay. I was still in shock, like, wow, I did it. I can't believe we got through it. Now here's the thing, we didn't do any skin to skin, and I expected that. So they left Alex on top of me maybe 5 minutes. Then they took him, they had to clean him, cut his umbilical cord. And while all this was happening, I was just looking at him on the side, and you guys saw that I took a video of it. My doctor said, okay, now you have to push to give birth to the placenta. And to be honest, guys, I don't remember this in the Philippines. I don't know why. I do not remember any of that. I didn't even know I had to give birth to the placenta. And I've given birth how many times? So with Alex, definitely I felt everything. I just only pushed once and I felt the placenta came out and I saw it. I'm like, oh, wow, that is a placenta. And I think it's the first time I've ever seen one. Like, I don't know why I've never felt this in the Philippines. My doctor told me, you only have one tear. It's actually not a tear, it's just a scar. And I'm like, oh, okay, that's good. Since you only have one tear, and it's not even a tear, it's a scar, I'm not gonna give you any anesthesia. And that's what I understood. And I knew that he didn't give me anesthesia because I felt every time he stuck the needle inside my skin, I felt it, and it was worse than the contractions. I don't know why. I was not given the anesthesia, but to him it was pointless because it was only a scar. His doctor is really nice because he's kind of like friendly, you know, you treat him as a friend. Man, I hated him so much that time because each time the needle went in, it killed me so bad because I could feel it literally going in my skin. So that was something really, really unexpected. And guys, one of the postpartum effects is once you give birth, you will shake. Okay, so your body will just shake as if you were cold, but you're not actually cold. It's actually just your body adjusting to things, I guess. That was it. That was the delivery of Alex. It was so quick. Like, I went into the clinic at around 8:30. I gave birth at 10:30. So that is the reason why I wasn't also able to vlog, because things happened so quickly. Let me just switch this boy. So yes, Marco was able to see Alex, but only in the nursery. So there's like the glass of the nursery, and Alex was inside and Marco was in the hallway. His face was really black. His ear, part of his ear was black, and his neck as well. He had 2 rounds of umbilical cord. So the umbilical cord was wrapped around his neck, and we actually saw that in the ultrasound. And Marco saw him for about, I'd say 15 minutes. And he wasn't swabbed. The clinic just told him to go in just for 15 minutes. And so after that, Marco went back home, and I stayed at the clinic for 2 nights. So I went in on Thursday. I came back home on Saturday morning. So what went wrong? Because I've told you guys in my vlog that there was something that happened, and it wasn't the scar, it wasn't the tear, it wasn't that I wasn't given anesthesia. The moment that my doctor said, let's go see Marco in the hallway, I couldn't get up from the bed. And I knew something was wrong. I knew something was off because I couldn't move my legs correctly. I'm like, maybe it's just a phase, like, because I just gave birth, so I kind of didn't mind it. I literally couldn't get up from the bed. I couldn't lift my legs, and it was the most scary thing because I honestly thought I got paralyzed. I said, something is not right. Something went wrong here that made me like this. There has got to be something. I knew that it was getting worse when I tried to go to the bathroom. I couldn't lift my legs. I literally could not lift my legs, guys. I had to slide my legs to go somewhere. Felt like something was dislocated in my pelvic area. It was in this part of my body where I felt like the bones were bruised really bad or dislocated. The next day, I still felt the same thing, and I told my doctor about it, and I said, I can't walk properly. He saw me that day because he was still visiting, and he said, okay, can you walk for me? I couldn't even get up from the bed, guys. I had to hold on to the side of my bed to pull myself up because my legs were completely useless. It's not that they were numb, but it was because they were so painful to even move. Didn't get any epidural. I should have mentioned that, but yeah, I didn't get any epidural. Everything was natural. I think that was the toughest part for me, was the fact that I wasn't able to walk properly during the nights or during the days that I was there because I wasn't able to take care of Alex very well. I couldn't even carry him. I could only stay on the bed, sit down like this, but very much in pain because any position I was with where I had to put pressure at the bottom part of my body hurt so much. The only thing that they gave me at the clinic was like paracetamol. Before getting out on Saturday morning, my doctor checked me again. He checked my uterus, so he did a scan and he said everything is good, everything's in place, because I honestly thought there was something wrong with my uterus, but thank God there wasn't any. So the neurologist checked me from head to toe and he said there's nothing wrong. Like, all her reflexes worked. He checked my knee reflex, he checked my arms, he checked my toe reflex, everything. They were all good. It was just really the pelvic area. So we kind of figure out, or be made to believe that what was wrong with me was that I pushed way too hard, that it caused all the muscle and the bones to be bruised in this area. And I think that was it, that I just pushed way too hard where I shouldn't have pushed too hard. So maybe you shouldn't be pushing so hard. It wasn't really like a diagnosis as to what happened to me or diagnosis as to what I had. My doctor had to actually help me get out of the clinic because I couldn't do it on my own. So I had a nurse who was helping me. I look so paralyzed, guys, like literally, I look really, really paralyzed. I felt so sorry for myself. What was your reaction when you saw me walk out of the clinic?
Oh yeah, she was really in pain. She couldn't even walk.
I couldn't lift my legs, and Marco was waiting outside. As soon as we got home,
It smells so good.
that was the first time Marco held him. He was so small, no?
Oh wow, he was the smallest. Because when you look at the baby in photos, yeah, they look big. So I'm like, wow, this baby's massive. And then I saw him for the very first time, and I just realized that it was the smallest thing. Now look at him. He already has a double chin. He's been struggling with gas.
Yeah, yeah.
Poor him. He took it from his mom.
Well, envy from us both.
You just want to look at him all day long like this. Shame we still have to work.
Yeah.
Alright, see you later, babe.
Okay. So how long was I not able to walk for? Probably, I would say 2 weeks. So just last week, I was able to walk properly. Right now, I'm on my 3rd week, and you know, there's still sometimes when I can't position myself great. The good thing is I can lay on my side, because before I seriously could not lay on my side at all. I'm just really grateful that everything is slowly coming together, and now we just gotta watch this little buddy grow. So when it comes to the language barrier, like I said, people were actually able to speak in English. When you're at the situation, I guess you just go through it. Like, you don't really care anymore. People did speak in English, which is good. Not fluent, but at least they were able to. People at the clinic were really nice, I must say. The clinic that I gave birth in, they were really friendly. They were really helpful. It's something that I was also scared about, because I know how some people are here down in the South. You know, that they don't like their job, they don't like their work, so they show that they don't really care. But at the clinic, people were extremely nice. My OB was extremely nice, so I would give definitely 10 out of 10 for the clinic. I guess the only problem with the clinic was their food, but you know, you can't really expect great hospital food. And that's pretty much about it for this birth story. I have no idea how I'm gonna be editing this. Hopefully I can edit this quickly for you guys, but that is about it. I hope I haven't missed out anything. If I did, I will share in a vlog. So if you want to keep up with me, guys, go ahead and click on that subscribe button and turn on that notification bell, just so that you're notified once I upload another vlog or video. If you have any questions, please feel free to comment under below, and I will be more than happy to answer them for you. I can't believe Alex just slept through it, and my arm is like dead right now. So I hope you guys enjoyed this birth story. I will see you guys on the next video. Goodbye for now.